I am driving around with Lyle. It's my father-in-law, Lyle. We are on our way over to the barn. I have to do the videos today. Now, Amy and I are working on the opening. We want to talk about the babies. The babies is a big draw for right now, and what's right in front of us and on the forefront of what we're doing is the babies right now. You know, obviously, racing and getting the sophomores going in the right direction are important too. So a lot going on. So we went to the barn we went to the track this morning and trained 7 babies at Mohawk in the rain with James and Danny and Dominic. Johnny was there. Everybody was down at Mohawk this morning. Got done early. Ollie's game was delayed. Now, Lyle, you guys get into town. Amy was pretty distraught that she forgot to message everybody. I was almost immediately over it. Like, she's still not over it. I was almost like immediately over it.
Yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, it happens.
So, did you say you were hot or cold or what are you?
Just good.
You're good?
Yeah.
I was just clearing the windows.
Yeah, we're all good.
So all these games delayed at 12. They think they're going to have another one. I think they said 3, but now I think they're saying 5. How long are you guys down for?
Whenever. Yeah, we're just one day.
Okay.
Because of Shelley's problem, I guess.
Yeah. Shelley, Lyle's wife, Amy's mom, stepmom, fell off her e-bike. It was a terrible tragedy. Broke her arm. And it could have been much worse because she was doing 0 miles an hour at the time.
Yeah, just
fell off.
slow-mo.
But she'll be all right. Now, is it a clean fracture or is it a little line or what is it?
2 sides, both sides of the arm.
Oh, yeah. Did they have to put a plate or anything in?
No, it's just
it'll heal?
6 weeks sling and
6 weeks.
Yeah.
I can tell you if she was a horse, it'd be 3 weeks in the stall, 3 weeks of swimming.
Yeah,
That's what she'd get.
Yeah, it's what would you say? It's 2 hairline breaks, a fluke, but age doesn't help her any either. Or get in your 60s.
I think we're gonna have to get her some calcium too, by the sounds of things.
Yeah, coffee isn't doing it.
No, more milk, less coffee.
Yeah,
that's what we're gonna have to do.
She hasn't got into the wine yet, so that could be a painkiller.
Well, that's a tonight job.
That's a painkiller.
You guys are gonna have to stay over tonight.
Well,
might be into the wine tonight.
Stranger things have happened.
I like that Italian restaurant. I'll be honest, there's a nice restaurant we ate at in Guelph 3 weeks ago. It was really good, and actually the last time it wasn't great. It's called Scatterbush.
Okay.
It's right, it used to be where Finn McCool's was in Guelph. It was pretty good. I'll give it a pass for last time because the time before it was really good. But I would like to go eat somewhere tonight.
All right.
We have some horses racing tonight at Mohawk, but our best horse, Time Is On My Side, is here. James is going to drive him at Mohawk, and JK Victory's here too. Now, JK Victory's probably get the better chance of the two of them. Neither of them are super tight. I trained them fast last week, but they're in tough. They're at Mohawk, right? They're in tough, so we'll see how they do tonight. I want to go through the racehorses this week with Lyle. We're gonna talk about the racehorses and then talk with the 3-year-olds on the way back. And then Amy and I are going to do the opening 2-year-olds. We have a top 10 list we're going to do. She didn't want to do any of those, but she's getting better at it. She's like you, like hiding off camera.
Yeah, camera shy.
But that's Amy in a nutshell. So, Admiral Deal raced good the other day, finished 3rd up a class. If you can get him near the front, he's better. And I think they shot him a little close to the race. The track, it had rained and it was hard as a rock. Because the week before he bounced off the car pretty good, but the other day he kind of fell off the wing. So, I mean, when they said go, he wasn't feeling it. He was like, nah, we're just going to hang out over here. And he raced pretty good to be 3rd. Drebin ended up with a tiny line in his foot. He started swimming. He'll be swimming for the next 3-4 weeks. We'll re-x-ray. But just so I'm clear, and I want to make sure I'm abundantly clear about this, I told somebody, that line was probably on a list of things that could have made Drebin off left hind. That line was almost near the top of the list of what I would like to see it. And somebody said, I don't understand why you wouldn't, why that, I need you to explain why that would be. Well, so you have the joint, and then you have the hoof, right? Well, a lot of the fractures for a lot of those bones, like when I broke my wrist, when people break their wrists along those joints, fracture into the joint, interarticular, and that causes arthritis. Well, Drebin's is a lateral line as far away from the joint as you can get.
Okay.
White Tiger had one when he was a baby. No Free Lunch had one also. I'm sure we had a couple more. Those heal perfectly, and the prognosis is excellent, and the rate of re-injury is almost non-existent for those types of injuries. So if we had to give him time off anyway, and I didn't have to deal with any lingering soft tissue issues, if I could just say, there's a line, in 6 weeks it's gone, it will never bother him again, that is why I said it was probably amongst the top of the list of things that could be wrong with him, and he'll be fine in no time. Lover's Play is on this list. Now, I'll talk about a couple of mares that pop up in this list a bit. This is the mare that we were training her down, and she got injured in such a way she almost died. She was at the clinic 2 or 3 weeks. She came back. The prognosis to return to races was very small, very, very thin chance, and she did. She made it back. She raced all winter. She took a mark at 58. Now, our mares, our brood mares that we kept, I just felt I wanted to keep the horses that tried the hardest. Maybe they had a little bit of breeding. Maybe they weren't fast weave or stuff. Muscle Chrome, the best homebred we've ever had to date, training down. Now, we've had a couple that raced and we're okay. But thus far, the best one is the one out of that mare. Now, that mare is the slowest horse on earth. She was so slow. But decent breeding, but she didn't know she was slow. She thought she was rather fast, actually, and tried her heart out every time she raced. Okay. But never, ever accomplished. I don't even think she took a lifetime mark, to be honest. And we bred her. Her first colt was a huge letdown. We ended up selling him this winter. But the sister, the full sister, is training down now. Her name is Tomboy Strong. Very, very nice filly. And I just felt that if we were going to breed mares, there were going to be mares that wanted to do their work. It doesn't always translate into the breeding, obviously, but that was the foundation I wanted. I wanted to breed mares that I actually liked, that I respected. And I couldn't have any more respect for Lover's Play than I had. Here's a Tactical Landing filly. Pretty good family. Really good family, actually. Not like blue blood, but really good family. And had, the heart of a killer. Right. And ended up getting injured. She fractured her leg so bad, they fused her ankle joint behind. And I was just planning on breeding her last year. We trained her down a little bit. I said, Jesus, filly's going to race. She ended up taking a mark at 58 and doing pretty good for us. And it was hard to believe. Even the surgeon said it's pretty hard to believe that filly made it back to the races. So that's why we bred her. She is confirmed in full to King of the North in Ontario right now. Now she's in Pennsylvania in the field, but she's in full to King of the North. Mounts for All. First start with Hobbles on the other day. He raced good, finished second, showed a little blood. Next week will be his first start on Lasix. I think this horse is going to come forward in a big way over the next couple of months. Pull the Shoes, another mare. She had a foal the other day by Tactical Approach. The only one we don't have a contract for yet. I don't know who to breed her to just yet. Truthfully, we tried to sell her in foal. She had a fractured coffin bone last year up front, and rather than just sit her in the stall and wait, we got her in foal. Okay. So put her in foal. We had a beautiful colt out of her yesterday, but she was not on the list of horses for me to keep on our Broodmare band. So I went to sell her last winter at the Mount Hope sale, and she didn't sell. We weren't going to get anything for her, so I just kept her. I think we bought her back for like 24, 25. I'm guessing, something like that. Mm-hmm. It's just we didn't sell her. So who are we going to breed her to, and what are we going to do with her? Theoretically, I would sell her at Harrisburg, I suppose. But I don't have a stallion. I don't have a breeding for her just yet. So we're on the lookout for a marketable breeding. So not just breed her to any sire, but a sire that makes sense that people are going to want the mare in foal. Right. Now, obviously, there's no Chapter 7s available or Walners available, but the best commercial breeding we can find is what I'm going to look to breed Pull the Shoes to. Tenacious Hanover back now jogging with Tim. We give him a short break. He was just tired. He'll be ready to go soon enough. Time is on my side. Races tonight at Mohawk. He's in that barn right there. I'm going to go in and have a look at him in a second. This is Harry's barn here. You've been over here with us a couple of times, eh? Yeah, I was here. We're on the other barn by the pool over there, but this is Harry's barn right here.
There's Harry right there.
There he is.
Haven't seen him in a while.
You look pretty distressed. You all right? All good? Is all good? I'm going to come in and see you in a minute. I'm doing a video. Oh, do you want to come in the video? You want to? No? Yeah. He's worse than Amy. He's the worst. He literally would have dug a hole in the dirt right there and put his head in it rather than go on the video.
I'm not big on them either, but kind of stuck.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? So jail. So time is on my side. I'm going to go in and see him in a minute. I would imagine James will duck him and race him on the end of it tonight. Vehement has been racing good. Here's a horse. See this horse here? He's by Tactical Landing. Yep. His mother, Woodside Charm, was a world champion. Very, very nice horse. Verlin Yoder had her, I believe. Was it? I think it was. He was the Millers? No, I think it was Verlin. I'm not sure. Oh, no, it was the other guy. Nice man, too. I met him. Anyway, I can't think of his name. The filly was a world champion at 2. Pretty good at 3, and obviously this horse didn't work out. So they bought this horse for $325,000 as a baby.
Wow.
U.S.
Wow.
And made $0 in 2 years. We bought him for, I'm going to say, I don't know, I'm guessing, maybe 17, something like that. And we couldn't get him raced. It was like every 3 weeks, every 2. It was the weirdest thing. And he's starting to come on now. He's been racing good. He won last week at Northfield, and he's picked to win tomorrow night at Northfield Park again for Aaron. Park Slope, that's Steve and I's mare. She's a Chapter 7 out of a sister to Kings County. Or she is a sister to Kings County. Which is it? Park Slope is out of Brooklyn Eagle. Now she'd be out of sister to Kings County. She's in foal to Tactical Landing and due June, I think, May or June. Save America, a little bit of mucus, a little bit of blood the other day. He actually has been he's been our best horse, right? That's the horse we brought to the Gold Cup. He went in 49, second in 48 last year, I think, or third. Just a really, really nice horse. He might be our best horse, I don't know. But last week he was a little bit flat. He got a week off. We'll race him back next week. Spitfire Overseas now. I told everybody we had these winners this week. You never be too overconfident. I didn't drive him overconfident, but I did not drop the hammer the way I should. I moved him in the last turn, and there was just this quiet little voice in my head saying, remember, he made a break on you right here at Miami Valley. Coming out of the last turn, he made the break on Jody in the same place. He made a break on you before at the start of the year. Maybe just go easy through the turn. As it turned out, I didn't need to go easy. He was squared away, very, very confident, very sharp. I should have just let him rock. If I do that, I win the race for sure. Instead, I let him roll up alongside the leader, who was a legit open horse last year, his first start back. The horse in behind me was, on paper, every bit as good as Spitfire is right now. Mm-hmm. So there should have been a little more sense of urgency. I didn't drive good yesterday, quite frankly. We had 2 seconds and 2/3. We should have no less than 2 wins. And I don't think I did my best job, my best work yesterday. He finished second, beat ahead, but should have won and raced very good. No slouch with the one that beat him or the one that he beat. So he raced well. Somebody messaged me and said, well, in that class, he's supposed to win. I think what you need to do is look at the horses that were in that class yesterday. Those were gatekeepers coming out of the open, one coming back from being a solid open competitor. No joke. He raced good. I just think I just need to be a little more aggressive yesterday with a couple of those horses. Stay Special. There's Stay Hungry Phil. You want to talk about tough. I think she raced her last 3 starts with a line in her knee.
Really?
She showed a little soreness, but we'd always been able to manage to get her through it. She won the race. She won that night. The next day, she was still a little pinchy on her knee. We got her x-rayed, and there was quite a fracture line there. It did not look like it was super new. Just as tough as they come, this filly. Very, very tough filly. She just had a beautiful Monty Mickey filly, and she has been bred back to Cannibal. Yes, Cannibal.
Was that good?
I don't know. The breeding matched. It wasn't my choice.
Right.
I rely on 2 or 3 guys I usually lean on when it comes to breeding. And a lot of you out there, no disrespect, everybody has the same algorithms for the most part, the same website that you go on, or the same groups that you run in. Most people said the same thing. Steve was the one that came with Cannibal. Alan agreed that Cannibal was the way to go. So it made all the sense in the world. I think They had to go back to a Mickey line because she's by Stay Hungry. So we ended up breeding to Cannibal because on paper that was the place to go, I guess. I'll defer to Steve now, and they know what they're talking about. And then another gentleman, Robert, in Europe, looks at things a little bit differently. And it's so cool to hear them analytically break it down. It's just one of those things I never wanted to know about. I love driving my car, but I don't really care about the engine in it. I don't know anything about it.
I hear you.
Right? I can barely change the oil. I'm sure you don't. You're not the same. And
as
I say, I can barely change the oil. I 1,000% could not change the oil in my car.
Right.
So it's just one of those things where this industry is so interesting. There's so many cool little aspects, whether it be shoeing or vet work or training or jogging or just the overall care of a horse. And the breeding is the same. It's its own little aspect of horse racing, and it's something that you really have to work at. You really have to understand, and I don't have a whole lot of interest in taking up that spectrum. so to speak.
I hear
Especially when I have more than enough friends of mine that do and enjoy it and are very analytical. So I'd rather just defer when it came to, so this thing doesn't want to load now. You know how angry that makes me right now? I literally just want to smash this iPad into 15,000 pieces now.
So what happens? It just drops off?
No, what happens is we're in a bad area.
Okay.
So I've asked Eric multiple times to make it so that this doesn't kick me out. But after 10 minutes, every 10 minutes, it does kick me out. So we were down on the racehorses. Of course, that would change. We were down on the racehorses here. We were at Stay Special. Texong Soprano was great last night. If the gentleman doesn't come out of the 2-hole, you guys saw the race. He gets shoved 3 deep for a horse that runs in the turns, and then Scotty had to file him 3 deep. Just spent the whole turn kind of checking him, and then lunged at them at the wire. Only beat ahead. The horse raced great. Isa 10, one of our nicest fillies training down. She trained awesome the other day. Is the filly you might not remember the mare. Amy loved her. It was Lawmaker's sister. Her name was Isa 10.
Yep.
So Amy loved the mare. And her first foal, Pretty Eyes and Lies and International Money, training down very, very good. I trained her in 13, come a quarter in 31 seconds the other day. She was extremely good. Stands terrible, but
right.
Doesn't hit.
No.
It's funny because Lawmaker stood a little bit askew, a little bit off,
right.
And he never hit. This filly stands off quite badly and does not hit either. So really happy. Your only concern at that point is their soundness. Like, because when you have a perfect conformation, you can deal with that. But the more they get off a little bit, they're taking more pressure on one side of the knee, the bottom part of the knee. Are they going to interfere? Where are they going to start taking weight? So all these things are kind of rattling around your head. But she has been very, very good. A green shoe colt on the ground coming behind the International Money that we're training.
Okay.
And this filly is being... hold on. Green shoe colt on the ground. Just had a Captain Corey colt.
Okay.
And is being rebred to International Money. And Amy said, well, you got the filly. She stands off. Why do you want to rebreed to that sire? I said, but you're not looking at the finished product. She might stand off, but she's also a beast. She's been training great. I'll take all the Pretty Eyes and Lies that I can get. So that's why we bred her back to International Money. Somebody asked me the other day, they said, of all the horses you've had, of all the sires you've had, who's given you who have you had the most luck with? Now, obviously, we had a lot of luck with Muscle Massive, with Lawmaker and White Tiger, and we've had horses we've done with. But the first sire that came to mind was International Money. Very affordable, working man sire type breeding, but done us a lot of good, and I hope it does good again. Greatest Ending tied up his last start. Not shocking. Parked the whole way. Had to ship 4 hours to get there. We're going to be going down the road 2 hours next time, or maybe racing him at Northfield until we get him sparked back up. But all in all, not a great trip his last 2. I got parked the whole way with him, then Brett got parked the whole way with him his last 2. He deserved a week off. JK Victory's in that barn right there. He's going to race tonight also. I'm interested to see how he's going to do over the next 3-4 weeks over here. Didn't have a great start. We paid a lot of money for this horse. Right. Brought him to Ontario. He was terrible. Sent him back to Indiana, and the horse went in 49 twice, I think, and made nothing but money for 2 years. He was good. I won with him at the Meadows in 150 flat 4 weeks ago. And then he bled a little bit. He was a little bit sick. He got out of gear. I trained him the other day in 54 at 54 at the Meadows, and he's here tonight to race at Mohawk. Looks like Money just got picked off yesterday. Just got beat at the wire. Then we got him up to the barn, and Tim said, I was going to ask you if you wanted to scope him. The vet went to look at him, and he's got the thumps a little bit. His heart was fluttering a little bit.
Okay.
So that's just an electrolyte imbalance. It was funny because I said in my video yesterday, I was talking to the breeder of one of our colts. Seems like a real intelligent, analytical guy. He said he was reading up on a bunch of reports, and those horses that throw their heads, a lot of the times it'll be an electrolyte imbalance. And I didn't understand how could one equal the other? Right. How could you say you have an electrolyte imbalance so you throw your head? But lo and behold, 24 hours later, I race Looks Like Money. We're going into the first turn. He kind of floated his head. It was weird. Okay. Age horses don't do that. He just kind of floated his head once or twice. And then lo and behold, later on, we've come to find that he got the thumps. It would be hard for me not to say one equaled the other when it completely unsolicited advice about something that we had we weren't talking about electrolyte issues. It just happened to be an off-the-cuff conversation we were having on the phone. And sure enough, the next day, here's a horse that was throwing his head in a weird way that never does. And lo and behold, right after the race, it's found that he had an electrolyte imbalance. So it's kind of weird. So he should be much, much better his next start. My only question is, where will that be? I don't know where he'll race his next start because I'm not confident they're going to fill the Open next week, but we'll see.
That Dexter Nuke's horse I had,
Yeah.
he'd lay his head on the line.
Yeah.
Going down either the back stretch or the front.
Yeah.
Whether that was comfort zone for him or what. But
a lot of horses will. They'll get out, and I think it's a habit too. A lot of the time when you train them down and they'll touch an inside knee and you wear stuff on them to get them away.
Okay.
It's kind of like me, you know. It's funny, Amy
But
and I
he'd
talk
tip
about.
his head on both sides as he's going down the back.
Oh, he just kind of move them.
Yeah.
I used to have a couple of trotters who did that. It's the coolest thing, and it's actually really nice to watch. They'd kind of sway their head when they were trotting, and they were good horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. Yeah, there's some horses that will do that.
Yeah, just something. Got you off track here.
No, you didn't get me off track. Neptune racing tomorrow night. Jason said he actually trained good. This is a horse we bought from Australia.
Okay.
So one of our clients lives in Australia, Daniel Cordina, really nice man. Sent his horse over here to race, and then we bought a horse to send over here with him. Now, Trosa is his horse. He's been racing outstanding. Aside from last week, he's a little sick. The other horse that came over is Neptune. Stud, little sulky, Better's Delight stud. And he got beat up a couple of times here, and he kind of went to sleep. So we took him over to Northfield, where it's supposed to be a little cheaper. Now, he's 10-1 tomorrow night. I'm going to tell you what, Jason said the horse trained good, scoped him after, he scoped clean, he treated him up. I think Neptune, those sulky little buggers, sometimes little change of scenery sometimes sparks them up. So I'm very interested to see how he's going to race tomorrow night. Aaron Merriman's going to drive him. Rock Shining Stars racing today in Miami Valley. This horse, the 9-hole, 8-9-9, I think his last three, was second 2 starts ago to the 8-hole, just beat at the wire. And last week, the 9-hole, they took him back. He paced his last 3 quarters in 122-1 at Miami Valley to finish 6th or 7th. He likely won't be sitting 6th or 7th today, if I was to guess. State Bark S, we had the colt we sold at her, then she was barren. She has been bred back to Tactical Approach. Again, Alan and Steve said, this is the cross you want. Okay, so we did.
Yeah.
3-point blue chip was good yesterday. I didn't, again, popped out, twice I did it yesterday, popped out of the 2-hole in the last turn. There's nothing worse than moving out of the 2-hole and watching 2 other horses beat you. Yeah. There's nothing worse than that, I think. Well, I'm sure there is, but it's having it happen twice. Yeah. I did it once, felt like an idiot, and then did it an hour later and felt like an idiot again.
We had to, or just thought it was the right?
I just thought it was the right move, and it's a big risk because not only can you get beat, but you feel stupid in doing it.
Right.
So I popped Manhattan money out. The 2 that beat me were going to beat me anyway in hindsight. And I did take away a lot from moving him. 1, don't move him there again. 2, he was on the left line a little bit, probably needs a little vet work. Yep. So there was a takeaway from doing it with him, and I don't think we really cost ourselves money. I might have felt a little stupid after, but it didn't really cost us anything. Whereas with 3-point blue chip, I think if I stay in the 2-hole, I probably win the race. And I moved him, and he got chewing at himself a little bit. 2 weeks ago, he was great. Yesterday, he was so-so. But we literally had just went out minutes after a gigantic rainstorm went through. The Open went in 54 flat. That race went in 54 and 3. So it's not like he raced bad. I just didn't drive the greatest. Trosa's racing tonight, looking for a bounce back after a performance when he was sick. Yo Mister, speaking of sick, he was sick the other day. We just scratch him. He'll be fine. A Glare AM is due to have I believe, I don't know if it's Captain Corey. It has to be a Captain Corey. And although, who do we breed international money to last year? I'm a little fuzzy on that one, but I am not fuzzy on who she's being bred back to. The charity auction that they had 3 weeks ago, I bought the breeding to TCI. Highly sought after breeding. We had to pay overbook for them, but we're gonna have 2, if not 3 shots at a Glare AM to get this mare in full. My Jazz has an absolutely gorgeous Quattro de Julio colt. She is going to be having a Captain Corey colt, and I believe she is going to be bred back to, I should know this. I don't have it in front of me. I'm thinking of 3 studs. It's either International Money, who I think it is. It's not Father Patrick. It's not a tactical approach. I think it's international money. Capistrano had a nice beach class, which is Ontario colt, I believe. Phil, I think a colt, and she's bred back to beach class at Winback here in is that Caledon or Caledonia? When you know where Armstrong Brothers used to be, not far from the airport. That's Caledon.
Yeah.
That's where she is right now.
Yeah.
Globetrotting has a beautiful green shoe. Captain Corey, she's going to fold out, and then she's being bred back to tactical approach.
Wow.
And Alan, again, both Steve and Alan are like, trust me, I've looked at all the breedings you can breed her to. Tactical approach is where you want to go. So I don't know how they both come up with that, but that's what they both said. Muscle Chrome has a, I can never get the source right. Centurion ATM, colt on the ground. We have the Long Tom filly. Centurion ATM is next. She's going to have a Long Tom foal again, and she is booked back to Father Patrick. I had a Father Patrick breeding. I switched it from a Glare AM to Muscle Chrome when I got the breeding to TCI. Where are we at here? Path of Totality, a beautiful tactical landing colt, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in foal to Captain Corey. But she will be bred back to, and this is where the gentleman for Europe came in. Back of the neck is a New York stud, Bakis Fonsteds. He's standing at Blue Chip Farms. He said, can you do me a favor? He sent me a big, long synopsis. And it was all very analytically put together. He said, I think, without a doubt, we have to go to back of the neck. I said, Robert, that is a very in-depth synopsis, and I concur. We will. So that's where she's going. Delicious Stone DK popped a big quarter crack the other day and made a break. But he did look like he was coming on when he did it. So it's just a matter of getting the quarter crack cleaned up, getting him shod properly, and get him back in to go. And Patrick DePrano races today in the mud at the Meadows at, I think, 2 o'clock or something.
All right.
Those are the racehorses, Lau. You got 26 minutes, you and I talking about nothing. We're going to go look at Harry's Burn. We're going to look at Time Is On My Side. I want to look at JK Victory, talk to him quick, check in with Dominic, and then head over to Ollie's baseball game.
Perfect.
Be back in just a second.